For more than 10 years, it has been her daily routine. Silke B slips on her compression stockings. The stockings and regular lymphatic drainage form part of the conservative treatment of her lipedema. She would have had to undergo this treatment all her life in order not to worsen her condition. Today she is to meet with her doctor of many years, Dr. Manuel Corneli, to be told about the operative therapy. In the waiting room she studies the brochures and thinks about all the things she must know before taking a decision. But it's not just a question of information, but also one of time and peace of mind in order to take a decision. That's at least the view of the doctor. The way we handle it here in the practice is that we explain everything clearly to the patient and then we send him home. There he can think things over in peace and quiet or read up on it. That is why I also advise people to have a look on the internet. And it's only when the patient knows exactly what he's letting himself in for, how much time he needs to rest, how much work is involved for us, and also how much it demands from him, only then do I decide whether to operate or not. We also say no to patients. There has to be a clear given indication of lipedema, but clearly the patient must also be willing to cooperate and accept this operation, which in the meantime has become a standard procedure. He has to fully understand and accept all this. During the examination, Dr. Corneli once again checks for all the symptoms of a lipedema. You see these very slim feet, beginning with a ring of fat in the area around the ankles, which then continues like a column all the way upwards to the hips. Women's so-called riding breeches don't hurt when you examine them, but in the case of lipedema they do, and that is a classic sign which points to a clear diagnosis. At the next consultation, Dr. Corneli concentrates on Silke's questions. If I continue the present treatment, the conservative one, what will be my condition in 10 or 20 years' time? What's going to happen to me? Well, the probability that the lymphatic vessels, which is a biological system, in this case working 180% all the time, will sometime or other fail and won't work properly is very high. That means that the patients will experience increasing difficulties. More lymphs will remain between the fat cells, not in the fat, but between the cells, leading to pressure pains. And sometime or other it will be so much that stays there that it'll run down into the feet and out into the toes, and then you'll see the full scale of lipedema. Does that mean then that apart from the stockings, I would also sooner or later need bandages on my arms if I don't do anything about it? Yes, that is a certainty. You would feel the pain in your arms very quickly. It won't come as fast as in your legs. Mostly it's a bit slower, but the end result would be the same. That's what Silke was afraid of. That is why she now has the various steps of the operative therapy explained to her in detail. Basically, we split it into 3 operations. As a first step, I would like to have your legs operated on from the outside. Half of your leg, so to speak, from here to back there, the complete outside, always from the very top to the very bottom, and of course on both legs at the same time. Moreover, the places to be operated on will be marked, and then while under light narcosis, a tumescent solution will be injected into the legs, so that the fat tissue and the firmer components, that is connective tissue and vessels, as well as the lymphatic vessels, begin to dissociate. The fat thus becomes almost fluid, and after 2 hours rest, you'll be back in the operating theatre. Then the tissue will be sucked, and when the whole operation is over and the narcosis has passed, you'll be put directly into the hands of the physiotherapist, who'll bandage your legs straight after the first lymphatic drainage. Dr. Corneli wants his patients to be informed also about the unpleasant aspects of the treatment following the operation. I insist that they wear compresses for 4 weeks, and I also insist that they undergo lymphatic drainage in the post-operative period, because only then can we expect good results. What side effects will they experience? Blood effusions, that's a fact, and it can be very unpleasant, and their muscles will, with absolute certainty, hurt. That also is pretty unpleasant, especially if, like you and me, we don't do much exercise and haven't felt our muscles ache for so long, but you'll get over it. With intervals of several weeks, the inner operations on arms and legs continue. Generally speaking, you could say goodbye to your lipedema after 3 months. I'll see you back here for a post-operative check, of course, that's clear. We normally do that every 3, 6 and 12 months, and you'll feel the changes over time. Up to 6 or 9 months, sometimes even up to 18 months, the shape of your legs may change. So there is no point in being impatient. We may have to operate again, but we'll patiently have a look at it when the time comes. The decisive point is first of all to be out of pain, not needing lymphatic drainage or compression. That would be the normal course of events.
Das wäre der normale Gang der Dinge.
Now that Silke has heard about the sequence firsthand, it is now up to her to make a decision, to stay in a situation she's known for years or to let herself in for 3 operations. The painful aspects that the treatment will bring seem not to have impressed Silke. It was an informative conversation and a positive one, an impression which you take back home, of course, and which motivates you to perhaps take the step and find the courage, perhaps, to go down this road. Nevertheless, not for nothing does the doctor advise to let a bit of time go by. If you recall the concomitants of the treatment, will Silke actually take a step in this direction? Will she find the courage?